Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. 10/15/2022. I just got finished listening to the Communist Party Congress, CPC, China. The shadow war is about to become open war. China is going through a transition. They're going from cheap made products to luxury made products. Of course, they'll still have their sectors of cheap products, but here in the West, in different parts of European or Asian nations, will not be getting luxury products that they have. You may get the cheap goods, but you won't get a lot of the cheap goods because a lot of their factories are now changing over to luxury or quality products, more quality products. Meaning it's going to take them a little bit more skill and labor to produce the things that they want to produce. And their cheap products, a lot of their cheap products are going to be for their nation and for themselves. They're going, one of the main topics there was United States hegemony, that they're not seeking to be a superpower or a, what we call here in the West, a world power that will dictate to others how you should live or how you should rule your people. They're not looking for that. They're not going to have that anyway. That's not their lot. This changeover, that's not their lot. Okay. The next ruling power will be the United Nations, the World Army, NATO, and that will be the next ruling power for a short space of time. Okay, that's for a short space of time. That will be from 2024 till 2033, around that time. That will be because that'll be the final plucking or the final head of the eagle disappearing fully. But that's another topic. I'm just want to talk about China, the CPC, and what they said in Congress. They're moving from a communistic way of utilizing their economy into a socialistic economy, meaning more for the people, which they already had that idea of being a common journey for the whole nation. But this time it's going to be in its social aspect to uplift the people in culture, agricultural, military, and social responsibilities. Okay, so that's their next phase. That's their next step. That's what they're looking to do. It was very interesting to see how much the Congress talked about not being the world supplier of, I don't want to say not being, but that they being the world supplier for the world, right? In a win-win situation. But they have issues on a geopolitical problem with the West and its allies. Because the more economic prosperity that they have, the less the West will have in their wealth. Because right now the system is set up for a debt-based system. The rest of the world takes the United States debt, or the world debt, through the International Monetary Fund and so on and so forth. They take their debt, and we take their goods. They're not doing that anymore. Luxury goods are going to have to be paid for, and they're going to have to be paid for in real tangible wealth. Here in the West, we have the problem because all of our prosperity, work, land, and property have been pledged to to the Federal Reserve. Once the Federal Reserve and the Treasury go through its next bankruptcy, the only thing they have left to pledge is your soul. That's it. That's the only thing they have left to pledge is your soul. And that's where the mark of the beast part comes in on the economic situation. China does not want to have color revolutions. This is how they term it, color revolutions. Over here we call it coups. Color revolutions to be happening in their background or in their backyard. They don't want that to be going on and happening. So they're fighting that. They're fighting that issue that they have. Even though they're opening up to other members in world society, they have to be mindful that there are actors who want to, what we say in the West is could contain China. There's no containing China. It's impossible. Only way that they really can quell China is if they squash the leadership and remove a lot of wisdom from out of their head, from out of their Congress. But that's impossible too, because the way how they train up their children. They train up their children, or let me not say children, they train up their sons and their daughters to be in a collective common mind state of prosperity for all. They train them up in this way. So that will be very hard for them to do unless a lot of people perished in that nation. And even so, you'll still have that dynamic there in their cultural mindset. Here in the West, our prosperity and wealth will have to come from our own hands, from our own soil, and from our neighbors around about us, okay? If we treat our neighbors well. Now, we got issues, we got problems. In the United Nations Assembly, when they had the vote against Ukraine, it was 53 nations that just abstained from anything with China or Russia. And then you had some here in the West, Nicaragua, Cuba, I think Argentina was on that list, who voted no to condemn Russia for its acts. So we see that they have some influence in these countries because they have helped them overcome some of the economic difficulty that they have had imposed on by North America and its allies. You know, France with their colonizing aspects that they have, Germany and Poland, you know, just a lot of places who have been brutal to South America. Okay, they have been very brutal to South America. But that's where our prosperity will come. Here now, you're going to start seeing a lot of products come from South America. Just the other day, Joe Biden opened up some trade agreements, lifted some sanctions. We'll see how that go. Because there's issues with that as well because of the trade imbalance that it will cause here, because it's cheap to make things down there. And you can't have the North in its financial predicament the way how it is and still have that going on in the background with your neighbor. That imbalance is just not going to work. I thank you for your 10 minutes of your time. I hope that you're having a beautiful Feast of Booths. And if you're watching Israel, you're seeing what happened with the sanctification of the utensils. And they're ready. They're ready. I really believe that they will build that temple. Even if they don't build a temple, we have the two witnesses who will be available, who will be on the royal stage. And Prince Michael will be standing up for us as well. So we got some headways to go. Yeah, we got some headways to go. But you, Israel, you are protected in love. Shalom.